Go, 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 go. Fight this, fight this, fight this, fight this. Nice, 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 nice. Alright, alright. Can we dragon?
Hey, John.
Yeah, what's up? What the fuck? How did you get into my... Aren't you my drawing? Where are your legs?
Where are my legs? You're the one that cropped them off of me in the first place.
Oh yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Anyway, when's your next video coming out?
I don't know.
What? You don't know? What about all of your fans?
I don't have any ideas.
Well, I've got just the idea for you then. You know that singing video we just did? What if we went through our vocal production process and we just showed it off and maybe some of our viewers can learn a thing or two?
I don't think anybody would watch that.
And every time I've held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorns. And so it... Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? Think I'm a good singer? No! I'm not the best singer. To be quite honest with you, I actually struggle to sing on tune a lot of the time. So how am I able to make myself sound so freaking good if I can barely hold a note on tune? Lies and deception. So let's start by just listening to the very first of the 8 recordings that I made. This is the main melody as you hear it in the song, except just the main melody part. In every heart there is a room. Sounds pretty good, but let's start peeling away at the layers of deception that I've applied on top of this. So, this is, let's just peel away all the layers. This is what my microphone heard when I sang this part, exactly as is. In every heart there is a room. Not so good. For starters, the word heart in every heart, it seems like I wasn't able to hold that note properly, and so it slipped down and went out of tune. But remember, I doubled each track, so let's see if the second track of the main melody sounds any better. Hey guys, it's 2D John. Looks like 3D John forgot to actually explain the doubling of the parts, which means I have to do it. Basically, there's 4 parts to the song, but each part is sung twice. And if you look at the finished video, there are 8 Johns singing at you, which means each part is sung by 2 Johns. Hence, each part is doubled. So let's see if the second track of the main melody sounds any better. In every heart there is a room. Maybe it's a little better. But I don't know if you noticed this. There is. It's not one complete note, it's like there's a bit of a hiccup. It's almost like an audio glitch. In the word is. Why is that? Well, it's because it's not one complete track. It's actually, I had to split the track into 2. Why did I have to do that? Well, because my timing was not 100% synchronized with myself. Obviously, when I'm making 8 different recordings, I'm not going to be able to synchronize with myself perfectly and make every consonant land at the same time. So what I had to do is I actually individually shrunk and stretched each syllable to match the original recording. So if we actually get rid of the timing changes, you'll see what it sounds like when I play the 2 tracks together. In every heart there is a room. So immediately, and you can actually see this visually too, the word there in there is a room, it didn't come in at the same time for both tracks. Heart there is. It's like the there. Heart there is a room. And same with in a room. The didn't come in at the same time either. There is a room. That makes it sound really messy, and I didn't like it sounding that messy, so I went in and manually adjusted each syllable so that it was perfect. So with the timing changes, if you play the 2 tracks together, it sounds like this. In every heart there is a room. So I'm not singing quite on tune, but at least I'm singing together. Now, another trick that I did was I actually panned 1 track all the way to the right and 1 track all the way to the left. So when you actually listen to the song, the original recording is only going into your right ear, and the second recording with all of the time changes is only going into your left ear. Here's what it sounds like. In every heart there is a room. And I really like this effect that this creates. It's a sort of a layering effect that makes you almost feel like there's more than one person singing at a time. Because there is only one person singing at a time. And if you have the tracks panned dead center, it'll just sound like it almost sounds like the sound's coming from inside your own head. In every heart there is a room. Which is an effect that maybe you would want in certain songs, certain whatevers. But I really like the effect of having the two tracks played separately to your two ears. It really makes it sound like a genuine a cappella performance, where you would have multiple people in the same room, and not everyone would be standing inside of your head. They would be standing around you, so there would be different voices hitting your ears at different times. Now let's talk about tuning. There's not a whole lot here to talk about. I use Melodyne, which is, as far as I know, the industry standard in terms of tuning. I just went in and I adjusted each note to be exactly perfect of where I wanted the note to be, and here's the result for the right ear, but I'm actually going to pan it in the center for now because I don't want your left ear to feel left out. In every heart there is a room. Tuned perfectly. Sounds a whole lot better to me. So now I've added the left track with tuning, and so here is both tracks panned to their respective sides with tuning. In every heart there is a room. So it's already putting everything on tune, already starts to make it sound kind of good. It's not quite polished, but we'll get to that. And one thing you might be noticing is it sounds like I'm half-assing these performances. In every heart there... Why does it sound like I'm half-assing these performances? Because I was. I wanted to see just how half-assed I could sing and still make the end product look good. Sound good. Alright, let's move away from the melody for now. Let's talk about the bass part. In case anybody doesn't know, I am not a bass. I am not a bass singer. I am a tenor. I am very tenor, as a matter of fact. My range of what I can sing is approximately, so here's middle C. My range is, that's my lowest note. The range of what I can sing comfortably, it doesn't go that low. It's actually about here. And for my high range, that's my highest note. What I can sing comfortably, I'd say is probably this. So from here to here. That is my comfortable range. The bass part goes to that note, which I can sing, but it's not gonna sound good. So what did I do instead? Well, let's take a look. I'm gonna go ahead and remove the effects from the bass part, and let's actually just listen to one part at a time. In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong. So here it is with tuning enabled. A sanctuary safe and strong. And here it is without the tuning. A sanctuary safe and strong. See, I didn't even try. So once again, 3D John did a poo-poo crap job of explaining this, so I'm the one who has to explain it for him. Basically, because the correct note is outside of my range, I just sang the lowest note that I could sing and tuned it down. And this actually comes up later as well, in this part. Until a new one comes along. Tuning to the rescue. Here it is with tuning. Until a new one comes along. So what's cool about doing vocal production is that I can literally make my voice sing notes that it can't physically hit. And in the context of making an a cappella song, that's very valuable because I need a bass part. The bass part is what gives a foundation to all of the other parts that are floating, singing, whatever the hell they're singing. The bass part needs to always be there, otherwise the song is going to feel empty. And so with tuning, I'm able to provide that for the rest of my parts. And I think that's really cool. Alright, this is a good time for me to talk about equalization, which is the process of cutting or boosting certain frequencies to get the sound that you want. For example, here's my bass equalization curve, and you can see I boosted a little bit of the 100 Hz range because that's right about where the bass part is. And I've cut out some of the higher end because I don't need the bass to have a higher end. The bass is supposed to be the bottom part, the foundation for all the other parts to sit on. So I need it to have that good, strong, low-end foundation, but I don't really need it to have any sort of high-end power. So let's go ahead and listen to the bass part with all of these effects applied. In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong. So it's a very subtle difference, but in my opinion, the low part here sounds a lot stronger, and so you're going to be able to maybe hear it, but more importantly, you're going to be able to feel it better when you add in all of the other parts. And that's, in my opinion, what bass is all about. It's all about feeling rather than actual hearing. A sanctuary safe and strong. Yeah. So that's the bass part. Let's go ahead now and talk about the tenor part. I'm going to skip talking about tuning for the tenor part, but I do want to talk about the equalization. So here is the equalization curve that I've set for my tenor part, and you can see I cut out a lot of my low end, cut out a lot of my high end, and I boosted the 100 Hz frequency range a little bit. And the reason I did this is because that's kind of where the tenor part sits. It's like it's this middle of the pack. It's not low like the bass, it's not high like the alto part, but it's there, you know? So here is what the tenor part sounds like with tuning, but no equalization yet. In every heart there is a room. And now we'll turn on the EQ and see what it sounds like now. In every heart there is a room. So I don't know about you, but the way I would describe this sound is it sounds like a cheap walkie-talkie that's covered by a thick blanket. That's how I would describe this sound. In every heart there is a room. It's not a pleasant sound. And you might be wondering, why would you intentionally make one of your parts not sound pleasant? And the reason is because you're not meant to listen to this part on its own. It's a part of the whole. And when you combine it with all of the other parts, you get the low end that I've cut out here filled in by the bass, and the high end filled in by the alto. And so when you put it together, it sounds complete. But of course, when you listen to it on its own, it's going to sound empty. And as a matter of fact, let's go ahead and add the bass back in and see what it sounds like with these two parts together. In every heart there is a room. Better. I still would describe this as an empty sounding sound. It doesn't quite feel complete, but we have more parts to get through. So let's go ahead now and talk about the alto part. Same thing. Here's the equalization curve that I've set for the alto part. Again, I've cut out most of the bass, but this time I've actually not cut out as much of the high end. Let's go ahead and listen to the alto part without the EQ effects first. In every heart there is a room. So already it sounds almost a little bit thin, and now if we apply the EQ, let's take a listen. In every heart there is a room. Ooh, it sounds even thinner. Why would you make it sound even thinner? Well, again, because when you combine it with the tenor and bass parts, you get something that sounds a little bit more complete. In every heart there is a room. So already, I think this is starting to sound really good. But if you feel like you're missing the melody, well, that's because you are. Where does the melody sit in all of this EQ talk? Well, I kind of kept the curve flat, but I boosted, what is this, the 300s range? Because if you define it by parts, the melody is kind of a baritone part, which is between the bass and the tenor. But because it's the melody, I don't want to cut out too much of anything, really, because this is the main part that you're supposed to be focusing on when you're listening to the song. So all I did was I just boosted this baritone frequency just a little bit, and I kept everything else flat. So it should be a very subtle difference. Let's go ahead and listen to this without equalization first. In every heart there is a room. And now let us add the EQ and see what it sounds like. In every heart there is a room. Very, very subtle difference. But to my ears at least, it sounds a little bit stronger in the frequencies that I want it to be strong in. And now we can finally put it all together and listen to our glorious creation. In every heart there is a room. Ooh! I don't know what sound I just made. I'm leaving that in. It sounds so good! Every part is audible if you try to listen to it, but also every part works so well with every other part. And, you know, some of the parts greater than... No. The whole is greater than the sum of the parts. But there's one thing missing. I always imagined a song like this, these slow a cappella songs, to be the kind of song that you would sing in a cathedral. And in the cathedral, you know, it's nice and echoey. You sing a note and it rings for maybe half a second, you know? But right now, each individual part, it sounds like I'm singing it in my grandma's closet. It's dry, none of the notes ring. We listen to just the melody. In every heart there... It doesn't ring out at all, but you add a little bit of reverb. In every heart there is a room. Just a little bit of reverb, but it makes the notes ring out a little bit more. And when you make everybody have reverb, you get this. In every heart there is a room. It just fills out the sound. I could listen to this all day. I actually, when I first made this and I put everything together, I listened to the whole damn song on repeat for an entire hour, and I'm still not tired of it. I still think this is one of the best sounding musical creations that I've ever made. But I think 2 weeks of lying and deceiving you is long enough, so here I am with a video showing you exactly what I did to make it sound as good as it did without actually being a good singer. Hopefully you like this video. I do think that I want to make a lot more music production videos in the future because this is something I really enjoy. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to using this thing. If you're following me on Instagram, you'll see that I've unboxed this and posted a picture of it and everything, but I haven't actually plugged it in yet because I wanted to save it for you. So that's kind of where I'm going to be going with my channel. I'll probably still do a couple gaming videos here and there, but mainly I want to get better at music production, and maybe I'll even make some video game soundtrack remixes. That'd be cool. But yeah, if you want to keep up with my journey of learning music production, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss any of my videos. And thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next week. And every time I've held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorn.